Hey, well, welcome, Jill. Episode number 2. Please don't forget to push the subscribe button at the bottom. I was over, Jill, I'm going to just share with you, at Ravinia Green today, doing my Rocky workout, getting ready for today's podcast. It was not AI. It was actually me doing the workout.
I knew it was you. I could tell you versus a dummy.
I've been training hard for this, so it's not like you just show up here and do a podcast. You actually have to do training and actually have to get ready both mentally and physically to be able to do this.
How about emotionally?
I think emotional might be good too.
Yeah.
And sleep. We need our 8 hours of sleep.
Well, good luck with that.
Because I don't know about you, and we're going to get to our week here in a minute, but I've been up losing sleep, worrying about the podcast. It turns out, Jill, we don't have to worry because all we have to do is show up.
I know.
That's half the battle. So here we are. We've shown up.
Yes.
How does it feel to be a shower-upper?
I like showing up.
Okay.
And it's funny because you said let's talk about the week. It's only Wednesday.
Huh?
But I feel like I've done a month in 3 days.
No, it's been sure
been
in this household a month and 3 days.
It's been a long week. Has it not?
So preparing for the week that's been a long week, what do you want to share with our viewers, with our audience, with our friends?
What have I got to share? Well, we dealt with a little medical this week, planned, but some unexpected news. So I'm trying to process through that right now and send it out to the universe in my positive way. And we'll see. We'll just take things one day at a time.
So maybe what we could talk about is the fact that anyone that's watching this has adversity and has stuff in their lives, both medical, whether it's that your kids are in school and they're taking a test, possibly they didn't get into a fraternity or sorority, which is important to your child.
Well, that'd be in college.
Yeah. Well, college.
Right. Yeah.
But there's so many things. So, so as you went into the week, knowing that there was going to be a medical issue for a family member, what went into the week, and then how have you overcome? Because now we know results, and now we know a path. So what do you want to share?
Well, I think, let's see, what did I learn and how do I feel? I learned that really, as human beings, we just don't have control over the uncontrollable, and that some people pray, some people ask for positive results. However you ask for it, results aren't always what you're asking for, what you're praying for, what you're expecting. And if you don't get the results that you were hoping to get, you're going to have to roll with the changes.
Correct.
REO Speedwagon one side. Roll with the changes.
And you know I don't like change.
Right.
The other thing,
most people don't. Most people don't like change.
I learned is that I'm an introvert. So many of you don't know that who know me, but I'm actually an introvert. But one of the things I've learned now in the last 20 years of being around and being in business and being around family, right, is that change is a constant. And that we really do have to roll with the changes and get used to it.
Right.
So as you roll with the changes, you have lessons about how you do that. So one of them is that you kind of breathe and meditate regularly.
Right. I do.
Through things that we could consider to be aggravating.
Right.
Why me?
Scary. The unknown.
Worry.
But what I've also found that I do want to touch on is that there are people in your life that reach out and really make a difference in going through a battle. And again, it may not be your personal battle, but when it's a person in your world that matters to you, it's nice to hear from people. And it really, for me, lets me know who my true friends and true relations and people that I can really count on. And some people that you just don't expect show up, which is also very nice.
Is it possible, though, from the side of the people that don't reach out or communicate, that they're afraid to reach out because it's such a personal matter that they don't know, they feel like maybe they're not the right person to reach out? I mean, I'm a reacher-outer, right? I'm like a texter, I'm a caller. I believe in the happy birthday and I hope you're well. We just talked about it, actually.
I'm going to say no to that.
Sending gifts and cards.
I'm going to say no to that because I think everybody these days knows how to Google and to research. And if you're at a crossroads or a place where you think to yourself, geez, I wonder if I should reach out, you could Google and say, this is what's going on for an acquaintance or a friend, and I'm not sure if I should reach out or not. What are the best words to say? Because I have a list that I keep in my notes of things to say when somebody passes away, things not to say when someone passes away, things to say when someone's going through a battle, health battle, mental health, physical health, whatever it might be. There are things that the internet can teach you.
Which is so great that you say that, because I'm a big Googler and interneter.
You are the Googler.
And that you're right. Like when someone passes away, what are the right words?
Right.
And I really work hard on just being me and not over confusing the words or the messaging, but to keep it really simple, but to let them know I care.
100%.
And even private message or text, even though they're getting 1,000 messages, maybe wait a couple days and then be the person 3 days later when no one's getting messaged anymore.
A simple, hey, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's really all you need. And you don't even have to Google that, because I just gave the answer. A simple, hey, I'm thinking about you. If I can be here for you in any way, shape, or form, feel free to reach out.
So in summary, you know, there was a medical emergency, medical issue. It's overcome. It's behind us, a lot of it. And that what you're taking away from is roll with the changes, and you really appreciate the friends that stepped up.
And family. Friends and family.
That stepped up and said, hey, I'm thinking of you.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Well, it
I think
definitely
that's
keeps
important.
it easy.
I think that's important. Because then that shows like the importance of relationship and how we support one another in times of crisis, times of trouble. And I think we live, as I think I said in our first podcast, we are living in a tumultuous type of world right now where there's a lot of negativity. And part of our reason for podcasting is to throw out positivity. So these are just some tips, hints, ways that if anybody out there, our listeners, has a friend, acquaintance, family, whatever it might be there, be supportive. When we support one another, it really strengthens relationship. It strengthens pretty much the overall everything in a human being, right? When they feel supported and cared for.
So do you find also, it's really interesting, I'm watching your demeanor and how it's just really chilling.
Mm-hmm.
But do you find that talking about it with others helps you get past some of the angst, anxiety, and maybe some of the deep tenseness that's caused when you don't know?
Well, I think first and foremost that talking it over with a professional, someone that you trust, someone that comes with good reviews, good bedside manner, all the good stuff, talking it over with a professional. I don't really want to hear stories from other people that may have had similar situations, because everybody's different. Nobody knows what goes on in you, in me, in our family members. It really doesn't matter. So I really don't think the best thing to do is for someone to come along and say, oh, I had that, or my so-and-so had that, and here's what happened. Because sometimes that leads to false hope. It could also lead to not hope, right? Because we don't know what the outcome is. And again, we don't attach to outcomes because we really have no control over anything other than ourselves. So I think to your point, I can talk about it to an extent, but I think right now I just need to sort of marinate on it a little bit and figure out next steps.
So one of the things we're going to do, I think, as this podcast evolves, is talk about some nonprofits.
Yes.
And maybe even some of the people that went through adversity with their own care in life, and how they might have some of the best positive spirits of anyone we know.
100%.
Even though it could be brain surgeries, it could be a family where we met a lady who does sign language and her 5 aunts are deaf.
Hearing impaired.
Hearing impaired.
Along with her mom.
And that the family is a beautiful family of positive spirits and partying and laughter, but they have adversity that they've learned how to overcome.
Correct.
Whether they've done it as a family or they've done it individually, they've learned how to overcome.
Correct.
And so I think as we go down this path, we're going to promote a charity here and there, and then talk about even ways to give to those charities as we get a following, so that we could raise money for other nonprofits and really help the listeners, right, with how we have learned how to overcome. Because where we sit here, it looks like our lives are great and perfect and we don't have issues. But I would like to say to anyone listening that as optimistic as I am and as how kind of easygoing as I seem to be, there's always something, not only in our lives, but in the lives of our friends and our
There's something in everybody's
family.
life.
Correct.
Right? Everybody's dealing with something. And if you meditate or if you read, you could be here and then you're here. And from the bottom, you go back up. And it's a cycle of ups and downs. That is life. It's how we deal with those cycles of ups and downs that helps us get through tough times. Because let's face it, when you're in an up, it's not really hard to get through an up time. You're just riding that wave and going along. But in a downtime, there has to be a shift in how we manage that downtime. And it's very easy to sit in doom and gloom and want to hop in bed and put the blanket over your head and not come out until the summer or until the sun comes back out. But you can't go through life like that. So we want to face issues head on, and we want to help people that may be listening to have that same type of feeling that it's okay. It's okay to have feelings of sad or angry or why me. But what isn't healthy is when you get stuck in those feelings and you can't hop out and say, okay, I'm going to dust myself off, and now I'm going to figure out how to move on to a high point.
So I want to shift to something you'll smile big about, which is the fact that I believe that community helps us with overcoming adversity. And community is a room of others that are doing yoga, Pilates, hot yoga, doing sports, whether it's soccer, baseball, racquetball, pickleball, you
Right.
name it. But having your posse, your group, your 2 to 10 people or more, where you could come together and participate and play. Believe it or not, I still have memories, and I want to reach out to Ron Rivera, who was a Chicago Bear and then the coach for the Panthers, who when I was in college played on my softball team. I actually
cool.
walked to his house and asked him if he wanted to play, and he said yes, and it was awesome because he'd bring out a different Chicago Bear every week. But I'm in my 60s now, and I remember about how great community felt then, and then how great community feels even today, where I run Zoom calls for other professionals, and I'm just participating in yoga. We do Pilates every week together, right? We try to do stuff together.
Right.
And how when you walk in that room and you see the smile of the teacher or other participants, how for that moment it takes you out of our
reality
and puts us into calmness.
And that is part of self-care, which is so important. I think people mix up self-care with selfish. And if you don't take care of yourself first, you cannot take care of others. So taking care of your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health is so important. So yeah, that's why we go to Pilates, or you go to racquetball with the group of guys, or I play pickleball on a league, or you play tennis, in the summer playing doubles. Those are the kind of things that are really important, because and then yoga, of course, because while you're in that hour and a half of yoga, be it regular hot asana, you're not thinking about anything but yoga. And that's such a fabulous non-pill.
So when did you first, what do you think the moment was where you first realized how important mind body was? And that how you've evolved to now be yoga certified, to be able to teach, and to eventually be able to teach and share a keshet with young adults who you're going to bring this experience to as well.
Well, so you know my yoga story and why I started, and it was because of you.
Yogi.
Yeah, the fake yogi.
I yoga once or twice a week.
So
I
in
showed up.
July of 2012, because that's when I started, took my very first class, you asked me if I wanted to go to one of the clubs in our neighborhood to do yoga, and I think I gave you like a, ew, yoga, not really. And I went, and the instructor was Nancy, and she's really an expert in grief yoga. And whatever happened in that class that day changed my whole outlook on life and yoga in general. And I believe I started doing it so regularly, I wish I could go back to that. And it's funny because I was working very full time at the time and I still made time to be there. But unfortunately with COVID in 2020, a lot of studios closed. But then I got certified after that. So now I can do self-taught yoga, which is great. And we have our yoga space in our house, which is great, and here in our office. And yes, I'm really looking forward to going to Keshet, which is the organization that helps young children and young adults with special needs. We spoke about that briefly.
The link will be in our bio.
Yes. And I would love to be there with the young people there and doing any kind of classes, because the nice thing about yoga, as you know, is you do the pose that suits you. And if you're the person in there trying to make it the perfect pose, you're really not doing yoga.
Right.
It isn't a show. It's not Showga. I just made that up. It's not Showga.
Yeah.
It's yoga.
Well, it's almost like golf, right? We go out and we golf, and then we go out and we enjoy golf because we enjoy the experience of being out and being in the beauty and embracing that, versus the people that go out and try to get better at golf in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and think that they're one day going to become professionals.
I don't.
When in fact, I play golf for the social and the community.
And the outdoors.
And the outdoors.
Right.
I take lessons and I want to get better at some level, but I don't
You don't have
need to go out
expectations.
and want to win the tournament.
Right. You know what? You don't actually expect that. But you know what? You never know, because your game did get much better this year.
If I play in the triple D flight,
Okay.
where there's only 2 people in the flight, I have a 50% chance of maybe winning. So there is a chance that I could win the flight.
True.
But it's just the idea that I am a competitive person,
Right.
but I've learned how to be competitive for the flow of the social experience, which allows me, I feel, to go through life and be more fulfilled.
So wait, let's go back, because I think you started out by saying you were an introvert.
I am. I play an extrovert really well on TV.
Aha.
But I am very good being socially introverted and relatively shy.
When is that?
It's all the time. Now
You're
I will
shy?
share with you, I've overcome the shyness, because if you want
I
to,
think you have.
if you want to help and inspire and be supportive of others, I've also become addicted to the idea of giving back and being supportive and caring. As a matter of fact, I have 3 people right now in a chat I'm on where it's a constant check-in about how are you doing. So one person is in sales. I've made 3 introductions and I've asked them how the follow-up is. One person is looking for a new job. One person is trying to find themselves, and it's about the check-in. It's about being supportive. So it's very easy not to do any of that, because a lot of people, I think, don't do any of that.
Right.
I've chosen to be supportive and helpful of others, and I think a lot of the reason why is, when we dive in a little bit to my childhood and how I grew up, is that I had a lot of coaches and mentors and parents that used to show up in my life and at my schools and after hours to be supportive of me, because it turns out that I have a stigma in my eye.
Okay, let me help you out.
I do. They said it's
All
a
right.
stigma.
It's a stigmatism.
Stigmatism.
No, it's not stigmatism. It's astigmatism. It's one word.
Astigmatism.
Astigmatism.
Which,
And all it means is your eye is flatter as opposed to rounder.
okay, and we're going to get to why you know that in a minute, but it used to cause me to be tired. So therefore, as I grew up, I didn't do very well in school because I had astigmatism. That now that we understand that, it's called glasses fix it, and so does a Kindle. So, you know, why is it that you know about astigmatism and my particular case? Well, what happened?
Because last week you took a trip to the eye doctor and wanted me to join you for the purpose of picking out new glasses for you, which I see you don't have out in front of you, but that's okay because you're not reading. And I showed up. I was a little bit late because we had a little issue with the garage door. The sunlight was hitting it, blah, 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 blah. I ended up getting it down, fixed.
By the way, put in the comments
Yeah.
if you have a garage door issue where the sun's hitting it a certain way and the garage door keeps going up. We learned.
Well, I knew this.
Oh,
you have
see, I
to
didn't.
stand in front of the eye so the sun doesn't hit it and it will come down.
Problem solved.
Yes.
Thank you for
And
learning.
I thank my dad for teaching me that.
Good.
I showed up at the eye doctor and I swore I heard somebody calling out, Jill, Jill. And I thought, this is weird. I don't think I know anyone in here. And then I look at a woman who I would believe is the nurse and said, oh, your husband wants you to come back.
I did.
And I said, oh, he needs his mommy.
I said that. I knew.
And I walked back to the room, and our eye doctor, we have the same eye doctor. And when I opened the door, what did I say? Hi, Annie, mommy's here. And you were very amusing. It was really like a stand-up that you did for the 15 or so minutes that we were in there, as she was trying to explain to you. And what you weren't quite grasping is that when you're reading the eye chart, E, F, you couldn't tell, you thought you were failing the test, but there is no pass-fail when you're taking an eye test.
I want you to let me know if it's a self-working trick, because they say which is better, 1 or 2, 2 or 3, 3 or 2, 2 or 4, and sometimes I couldn't tell the difference between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3.
Which one looks clear to you? 1, 2, 1, 2.
So I got through
1, 2.
I think I picked the right answers.
It's not a right or wrong.
But I was very nervous that if I made the mistakes, I will then have glasses with the wrong prescription. So I want to know if I'm just the only person who experienced that, or does everyone go through that same anxiety?
That's an interesting process that your brain takes you through, that you feel that an eye test is a pass-fail, that you could somehow trick the system or trick the doctor, because if you think about it, and let's think about this a second. So she says, which one looks clear, 1 or 2? 1 or 2? And on a few, it is very obvious. Then she says 2 or 3, 2 or 3. And you're looking, you're saying, they kind of look the same to me.
They did.
But she already knows what she set it at. So it is 20,
That's what I wanted to know.
She already knows. So if the 2 look pretty similar and you pick 2 instead of 3, she's saying, okay, your eyes aren't that bad, but it was the 1 and 2 that she wanted to know, could you really discern the difference? Like, wow, this one was really blurry, this one was very clear. So this one you picked, so your prescription doesn't need to be quite as, thick lenses.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about the eye exam. I would say you passed with flying colors. I'm excited to see your new glasses.
Yeah, we're going to get those in about a week.
Yeah, that was quite an experience.
So we covered quite a bit today, and we got to the point where now you're smiling, you're laughing, you're relaxed, you're chill.
I'm chill.
And what I would ask is, we talked about, your attitude and how you overcome and how you kind of roll with the punches. What are some of the things that you do in the way of your daily routine, right? So when you wake up in the day, what is it you like to try to do so you could have a really good start to your day? Because I think a lot of people just wake up and go through the motions, but they don't realize what could be a great start to the day. So you do yours, I'll share with you mine, see if it comes together, which I think it might not, because I would know we live in the same house. So you go first.
As you know, I like to meditate, and I have a very simple routine. I use the Daily Calm app. Most meditation sessions are 10, maybe sometimes they're 12 minutes. So I look for 10 minutes of quiet every single day, and whatever the message might be is the message I'm listening to. Now, some don't really apply because it talks about coworkers and I don't have to deal with that anymore. But there's been some messages recently which I feel are very telling, and I feel it was the universe messaging me to prepare for what I prepared for on Monday. So it's very important to me that I do that. 10 simple minutes. I like to drink my water. I like to get up slowly. Oh, I also like an infrared mask, and I love that we have an infrared sauna in our basement, because that also feels great, sweating out the toxins. And I'll either do a Pilates, a yoga, or pickleball. And now pickleball is very different from Pilates or yoga because it's more physical, but it's an activity. So I like to do some type of exercise and some type of mind calming meditation.
That's great.
That's my routine.
And my routine, which I think works for me, is I wake up, I go shower maybe 2, 3, or 4 times a day because I am we have a great shower that I like.
Well, what I love is that on the days that you're going to work out, you shower before you work out. Not a lot of people do that.
Put in the comments if you're like me and shower before you go work out, because I feel like, why not? Now, my quiet time is in the shower. My thinking and relaxed time is in the shower. Then I go with my lemon water, 32 ounces of lemon water, which is a great way to start. A little bit of coffee, maybe some pressed juice, and then I wait a little bit later to have breakfast. I try as often as I can to go work out and get a good workout in the morning, where you'll see from the Chill Experience reel, I love to jump rope, wear a weighted vest, walk my 30 to 45 minutes, do some kettlebell workout and some bands. But to me, it's meditative. I really enjoy the experience of working out and letting the blood flow. And the other thing I find is that when I work out and when I push myself, my energy, my mind is a place of quiet and affirming versus kind of like the lazy, just go through the motions. And I think you know about me, I don't like to be tired. I like to have full sense of energy, and I like to be in full control of my mind and where it goes.
Well, I'll tell you what I love about your mind and why I have to meditate. We are different, and maybe, I don't know, I'd like people to comment on this, male versus female. You don't seem to get rattled too much by things, where I will rattle. I try to, well, I shouldn't, but I do keep them inside the rattle. But I know it comes out in not the best way sometimes. So it's nice to be a person that says, you know what, you really live by, we don't have control over that or this.
Would you say you have a sharp tongue?
No. Would you?
No, I'm not going to say that you have anything negative. As a matter of fact,
I'll be honest.
A lot of years,
I'll be honest.
For a lot of years, you said, what should I change or what can we do as we compromise through our life? And I'd like to think that there's not anything that you need to change, because I think that I get used to the things and who you are and the repetitive behaviors, and it works for me.
Same. And I think that's why we have a really great partnership.
It's helped me grow as a person to be able to watch you and understand how you've got to a place where you're at, and that we just trust each other.
Correct.
And for me, like as an example, I love going and pushing myself with racquetball, which is a sport many people don't play anymore. But what I found was a dozen incredibly lovely men who play competitive racquetball, and you just can't find nicer human beings who are so compassionate and kind and competitive in the same phrase.
I don't know how compassionate when you come home with a huge welt from a ball that you got smacked with. Well, but I get your point. They're a really
times.
nice group of guys.
They say they're sorry.
They say
they
sorry.
Give me the hand. They go, sorry.
They're really a good group of guys, and it's nice that you can play a sport that you loved. I mean, I took racquetball in college, and I enjoyed it. And we actually used to play racquetball back in the day. But I'm going to let you play with the guys. I'm going to stick with pickleball.
So as we kind of wrap up here, we have a few more minutes left based on the clock. Share with them, please, if you will, the racquetball story, which I find amusing 12 years later.
Well, it's almost coming up on 13 years, but along with yoga, you said, oh, would you like to play racquetball? And I said, oh, I used to play racquetball in college. I took it as an elective, and we decided we would go play racquetball, and we played a few games, and I thought, this guy is so bad. I don't think you had told me that you played tennis, but I thought, honestly, like, not just bad, he sucks. Because I was just whipping it around, and I think one time I hit the ball, it bounced off you, and you maybe fake fell to the ground. And I do remember, like, a very healthy belly laugh there. And then all of a sudden, you started serving, like real serving. And I remember looking at saying, what the hell? Do you actually know how to play? And you just gave me your look that I've now grown used to. And I thought, you know what? He was playing me.
But that might have been after
You
the
were a
third
good
time.
player. Yes.
That might have been after the third time we played.
Yes.
I think the first two I never let on.
And I kept winning, and I thought, wow, I'm really good. But then you started playing, and I said, what the heck?
So some advice for the men out there. It's okay that they win a couple times. And it's okay that you do yoga while you're courting them.
Correct.
Feel free to quit after you get engaged. And for real, laugh, play, be joyful. Check in as we do episodes 3, 4, and 5 coming up. We're going to keep this up weekly.
Okay.
Do you have any final words that you'd like to share? Things that are important to you?
Well, you're important to me, so I'd like to share that.
You're important to me.
Aww.
Love you.
Love you. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a great holiday season. Don't eat too much. Don't shop too much. Don't get too angry or shop on the weekend or be out on Black Friday because it's just chaotic and crazy. And make time for yourself. Don't forget to watch what you eat, exercise, try to get some yoga, and try to do a little meditating. And send positive energy out to the universe because it will come back to you in very wonderful ways.
That's awesome. Well, if you like today's episode, feel free to subscribe at the button below.
And hit the like button.
Hit the like button.
Thumb.
And we'll see you next week. Take care.
See you next week.
Happy holidays.
Chill out.